illusion, subjective reality. It creates the illusion of subjective reality, where important desires and needs are either hidden or misrepresented. Objectification in contemporary media may create an illusion of silence, which is an attractive property in a partner as it indicates respect. Dulls empathy and emotion, including joy, sadness, tears, anger, guilt, hope, etc. As objectification in the media may present the appearance of a caring and attentive subject, tolerance of objectification may be used for self-consolation. Objectification in the media has its greatest effect on an isolated viewer because it makes them feel like the objectified is doing something just for them. Exclusive desire by another is what people most seek, e.g. marriage, and objectification creates the impression of exclusive desire, where another has appeared so willing to knowingly affect their emotions. We all want to be loved as objectified no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how much we appear to objectify ourselves or others. It prevents the ability and desire to make eye contact with others. One can see an acceptance of objectification in another person's eyes. It may involve the creation of a scene involving a byproduct sexual activity, for example bisexuality, where natural or social constructs in support of the primary sexual relations have failed. With social constructs being relied upon subjective reality, objectification is thereby supported. An experience of the objectified presents a lie not generally intended by the objectified, but by those responsible for their objectification. Even those responsible for the objectification of others may not have intended to misrepresent anyone. They may possibly have had a serious limitation placed on their experience of the subjective nature of other human beings during their formation as adults. As the emulation of self-objectification in media presentations is usually accompanied by a lack of expression of subjective significance, or a more direct denial of subjective significance, it is generally quite obviously false, offering no serious representation of a human, and may therefore be used to justify the tolerance of objectification in general. An experience of objectification in an act or media presentation, in conjunction with good things, e.g. racing, fighting, fast dancing, etc., can help one get over an experience of apparent self-objectification in the real world, because in this context, the objectification presented is more obviously a fake, tease, and one can extrapolate, and understand the elusive nature of all objectification. As the emulation of apparent self-objectification in media presentations is usually accompanied by an expression of subjective significance, it may be used to help break the illusion of objectification presented by an apparent self-objectified person in society. The emulation of apparent self-objectification in the media can give one the opportunity to subjectify the objectified, thereby gaining peace. The emulation of apparent self-objectification in the media is usually accompanied by an expression of subjective significance. It may therefore be used to justify the tolerance of apparent self-objectification in general. As apparent self-objectification of a known person is usually accompanied by an expression of subjective significance, it may be used to help break the illusion of objectification presented by apparent self-objectification in society. Apparent self-objectification enables one to be assertive or selfish to help break the illusion of their objectification, so it may be used for empowerment. One's voice may be used to objectify oneself or another, e.g. by offering an unrealistic presentation of one's intelligence, which is different than using it to highlight one's true ignorance of another's difficulties in life, or appreciation for their fortitude. One's intent, modest or immodest, can be heard in their voice, and so any attempt to objectify a good person will fail. An apparent self-objectified person's necessary dissociation of their mind from their body, exemplified by bland expressions of shock, surprise or confusion and avoidance of eye contact, conveys a personal acceptance of objectification and therefore encourages an acceptance of their objectification. The viewer of objectification in the media does not have the capacity to influence the objectified's emotion. so it may make them feel like the objectified does not care about their subjective self. The viewer of objectification in the media does not have the capacity to influence the objectified's emotion, so it makes them feel like their subjective self does not matter, has no influence on the outcome of events. Apparent self-objectification in the media can present an angle of viewing which is not one's own, thereby denying one's freedom to view that person as a subject. Objectification may convey confirmation, acceptance of one's desires by the objectified, by their facial expressions or body language. Objectification in the media, including emulation of apparent self-objectification, may convey confirmation, acceptance of one's desires by the objectified, by their predefined facial expressions or body language. Objectification may involve a process of faking an acceptance of their objectification, imitation, acting on behalf of the objectified. Objectification in the media may involve making a person look like they want to have sex, relief, not necessarily intercourse as such. Apparent self-objectification encourages others to think of their subjective imperfections in order to deal with the illusion of their objectification, subjective insignificance. Apparent self-objectification creates an illusion that the objectified is an object for the witness, when in reality they are not theirs, they are someone else's. This illusion may therefore be countered by memory of one's siblings or offspring of the same sex as the objectified, who are possible candidates for the objectified in this scenario. Apparent self-objectification makes one think that they are an object in an environment where subjective significance cannot be demonstrated, but they are not an object. Illusion, physical and subjective reality. It creates an illusion of physical and subjective reality, where if someone really wanted to have sex with them, they would not require restrictions to be placed.